All right, guys, so quick story time. Went to I-29. It's been over a month now. And did a little streetcar event. It's like the second time the Camaro was out this year. And made a pass. Everything was going all right. We're trying to tune the suspension, make it work a little bit better on the track. And got back to the pits, turned it off. Everything seemed normal. I went to turn it on, and here's the sound that I heard. So at first I thought, hey, maybe it's a torque converter bolt or maybe it's a lifter. It sounded pretty low, so, I was already kind of concerned about it. So anyways, got it home, tore it apart, and I was taking the oil pan off and I found some pieces of piston. So let me show you what I found. So yeah, this is what I found. Took the oil pan off and these chunks fell out. I'm not be able to really see here on camera, but this rod's bent. And the piston skirt was coming in contact with the crank. So over here you can see this little shiny spot here and here. That's where it was hitting. Knocked the bottom of the piston off. It's coming in contact every time the engine was turning over. So yeah, the weird thing is I don't really know when this happened. After the pass, I drove back to the pits. Everything seemed fine. I didn't hear the noise. I mean, that could just be adrenaline, and obviously the car is loud, so who knows. But parked it, looked at the log, everything looked fine. I talked to Cameron, my buddy, was there with me about doing one more pass before we called it a night, just to see if, some more changes that we're making to suspension could make a difference. And started it up and was making that noise right away. So I don't know, if it was something to do with an injector that stuck open and hydrolocked it when we parked it, or if it happened during the pass and I just didn't hear anything. The data log all looked fine. Now, obviously, this was stock bottom end LQ4, so it's, nothing to write home about. Stuff's kind of expected when you're playing with stuff like that. But, I feel like I would have maybe heard it driving back with how loud it was. But nonetheless, let me show you what we got planned for it. So the plan for the rest of the season with this, if I could get it back together to make it to the track one or two more times. Gen 4 rods. So these are beefier than the Gen 3. Let's see if I can hold it side by side. There's a Gen 3 versus Gen 4 rod. And then got a set of Gen 4 pistons too to go on these, because the wrist pin styles are a little bit different. So I'd like to put this back together, and I'm gonna take the crank to the machine shop, have them balance it, clean it up. It's not in bad shape. There's no like really big grooves, but it could definitely use a polish and be cleaned up. The rod bearings, they look pretty good. It had 40 PSI oil pressure at idle, so I'm not really shocked by that. It also had great compression, which, this is at the bottom of the piston, so I'm not super shocked by that, but yeah, it was still pretty surprised. So that's what we got. I do have one other possibility, and that's this other LQ4 that probably needs some bearings. Never look at the cam bearings, but I could slap that in here, get it going again. So that's the other option, but stay tuned, see what we do.